everyone. We are here with Jared. I am so excited for you guys to hear his story. Jared lives in California and he joined my coaching program and bought his very first out-of-state rental. I can't wait for you guys to hear what he has to say. He's got so much going on in his life and he made it happen. So, Jared, why don't you go ahead and just tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and kind of what got you thinking that you wanted to buy rental properties in the first place?
Sure. So Jared, Fresno, California. So that's Central California. So it's kind of a very ag place in California, very agriculture based, pretty farming. I work full time doing subcontracting sales. So I sell to builders, anywhere from, your apartment complexes to Fresno Housing Authority to your one-off 10,000 square foot homes. So kind of all across the board is what I do. So I do that full time. And then I also do, MBA, so master's in business, full-time as well. So I'm a pretty busy guy. What got me started in real estate is I've actually been doing just looking at real estate. I don't know where it came from, the little bug came from, but it's kind of like just a passive income kind of thing for me. But for the last, oh goodness, I want to say since probably 2014, it's been in like the back of my mind, just kind of getting to know like my own town personally, just to kind of so I can buy real estate here kind of thing and just kind of know the market here. And then going to out of state, well, going to out of state real estate, California, as some of you guys know, is a little bit on the expensive side. So going out of state towards the Midwest, it would probably be the best for a rental property for a long-term tenant. Yeah.
So you bought your own house in Fresno though, and you're house hacking that. Tell everybody about kind of how that's structured right now for you.
Sure. So right now, we'll do a little bit of backstory. Got my house in 2019. So right before the fun event that has taken place over the last couple of years. So got it in 2019. It was a what I would call a grandma's house. It was very, very outdated in the 70s, pink, green tile, roosters. It was nice. So redid the inside, redid the outside. Currently house hacking it. Pretty much been house hacking it since I got it all fixed up and livable. From December of 2019 till now, I've only lived in it by myself for about 6 months on my own. But I've had always roommates. I currently have a gentleman in there that's did a 6-month lease. He's paying for the master, which is $850 a month, and my mortgage is about $1,250. So he's paying a good chunk of my mortgage, which is insane. And right now it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I just have the master, and then I'm living in one of the other rooms, and we each have our own bathroom. So I like my bathroom. He has his own bathroom. So why not?
That's freaking awesome. So yeah, I remember when I met you, and you were outside in the backyard and all that, the computer.
Yeah.
And what was your, how were you thinking you were going to finance your first property when we first met?
How I was thinking was I have some stocks that I bought when everything dipped down way back when a couple of years ago. And I originally was thinking I was going to do that, and then once they go up, dump them, and then use that money for a down payment. Of course, as some of us know who are in the stock market, it hasn't been doing too well the last 6 months or so. So with that, I did a HELOC and a little bit of cash that I had on hand for my down payment. And I did, oh goodness, I believe I did 20% down for the down payment on the house. But yeah, awesome. For the out-of-state one.
And you got that money. So for everyone who's listening, home equity lines of credit are great because you can borrow against your house and not have to use any of your savings. And you just pay on your HELOC, and you can use that money as a big chunk towards your down payment, which is what Jared did.
Absolutely.
So now tell us, Jared, so you already were house hacking, right? You already bought your house in Fresno. What made you think you needed some help to buy out of state? Why didn't you just do it by yourself?
It's scary. I'll be straightforward. It's scary. Especially doing it on your own, sight unseen. For me, I've never been to the city or the state that I invested in prior to buying the house. So it's a very scary experience. It's very terrifying. My parents were like, "What are you doing? Like, you sure you want to do this kind of thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's no problem. It's fine." But deep down, I'm like freaking out. But being with like you and like having you basically hold my hand essentially through every step of the way of, okay, you need to do this, okay, that's fine, you know, look in this area, look over here, and like basically literally held my hand. And I knew I could email you or DM you on Instagram like any like stupid questions I had, just because you don't know. So you don't know until you know. I would say that not knowing is the biggest fear of all. But once you start doing it and you're like, all right, we're doing it, like, truck it, here we go, like, let's go, and like, it's gonna happen. And then having someone like hold you accountable to like, hey, make sure you're looking in this area. Hey, what deals have you found? What did, and then you have to do it. So you can't back out of it. There's no way to dismiss yourself of doing it. It's a lot scarier than you think it might be. Because right now it's like I'm house hacking, so the same thing I would do here, I would do at my rental property across the like US. So definitely having someone handhold the whole entire time is definitely helpful and keeping myself accountable. So
Thank you,
yeah.
Jared. I'm glad it worked out. It was so fun. You're so fun.
Thanks.
Always was great meetings, but because you're always so happy.
Always. I mean,
I know. I love it.
Like,
gotta have that high vibration.
Exactly. Just on the good vibes, you know?
Now I want to sing that song. Good, 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 good vibration.
Good
Yes, that oldie song.
vibration. Oh, I
Okay.
never.
Tell
Okay.
everybody about your first rent. Well, not your first. Tell everyone about your first out-of-state rent, the one we did together. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah.
Where
So
is
it
it
was
at? How'd you find the market? And then all the fun things.
Sure. So originally we were looking in Georgia, and the last, oh goodness, probably like 6, 7 months or so, the pricing on everything has been going up a little bit, so it's been a little bit harder and harder to find. So you're like, all right, it's not working. Let's find a different market. So I was like, okay, well, I want to do like this state, or this state, and you're like, okay, look at this state, which was Indiana. And then I was like, okay, I'm thinking, something like Fort Wayne because it's the second largest city, and I know, we know another real estate person invest over there, does duplexes and multifamilies and a lot of short-term stuff over there. So like, let's check over here. You're like, well, okay, check out over there, see what happens, but keep your eye on Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we looked at Fort Wayne, and I was just kind of like, nah, couldn't really sink my teeth into anything. And then you're like, all right, let's do Indianapolis. So we looked at Indianapolis, looked at the surrounding areas. So we're just east of Indy for the property.
So tell us all about your house. Tell us the numbers. Oh, and the one thing nobody ever does, you went where with your dad and did what?
Okay. Yeah, so got it for 135. 1,400 square feet, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath. Did 20% down. I couldn't tell you the exact numbers for that off the top of my head, but got some quotes from some contractors. They were about $10,000, around in that range. So me and my dad are pretty handy. So we actually flew out there to fix up the property. Never been to Indiana, never been to Indianapolis, never been to that airport, never seen the property, touched the property, nothing, paid for it, flew out there. Me and my dad went to work on it. For us to both fly out there, get an Airbnb, fly round trip, Airbnb it, and all the materials from Home Depot and Lowe's and Harbor Freight and everywhere else. New window, new carpet, all that fun stuff. 4,000, like $550. I'm rounding. But that's how much it cost us to go out there. So 2 guys from California, and we live in a smaller town. So we had to go from our town to Dallas, and then Dallas to Indy. That was the quickest flight, just because we don't have a big airport here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty expensive to fly out of. So yeah, 4,500 for food, materials, stay, all that fun stuff, and we knocked it out in 6 days. But we did a lot. We painted the whole entire inside of the house. We redid electrical work, new ceiling fans, new light bulbs, new lighting, new baseboards. Goodness, what else did we do? New hardware.
Drainage.
Yeah, new hardware underneath the bathrooms, new kitchen sink. We did some electrical work in the kitchen. Then we also painted tile in the bathroom, and then outside we like a little drain thing in like the backyard because it kind of sloped a little bit. So we did like a little drain, little canal, if you will, so like the water wouldn't be up against the house. Then we also basically boarded up the garage, just because the garage had some roof damage, and I don't feel comfortable having someone have their stuff in there yet. So replace the roof down the line. And what else did we do? I couldn't even tell you. Let's see. Change the locks, of course. We did some work on more work on the outside, some gutter work on the outside. We mortared some brick and mold on the outside for the like the porch area. What else? Deep cleaned everything, so that was fun. But yeah, so 4,500. We did a whole bunch of stuff to it. Got our rent ready. The kitchen is nicer than my kitchen at home, so
It's a very nice kitchen. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys flew all the way out there with some tools in your bags.
Yes. We had a suitcase. So yep, we had a suitcase full of tools. So like 20, 30 pounds was his suitcase full of stuff, about 20, 30 pounds of my suitcase full of stuff, just full of tools. Screwdrivers, sawzalls, I couldn't even tell you. We just basically brought whatever he had in the garage and just said, well, here we go. And then after we were all said and done, of course, all of our clothes were all, really pretty looking. So we actually like threw clothes away. So we had less stuff coming back. So it was
the burning finale.
It was an experience. So we yeah, exactly. So we flew from California to Indy, a suitcase full of tools, and just got to work. So we got landed like that evening, like at 10, and then the next morning from 8 to anywhere from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. just constantly working and working and working. But couldn't have done it without you. Couldn't have done it without my parents. Couldn't have done it without my grandma. Just for my house hack here, so I can get the HELOC, and then my parents always being super supportive in the long run of everything, because they're just like, all right, you're crazy. We're gonna let you do what you do. This is your dream. So very fortunate to have my parents very supportive, along with my grandma. So couldn't have done it without them. Couldn't have done it without you. But yeah, just happy to be here. Happy it's done, and it's got some applications in the works there for that house, because now it's done. That was about a month ago when we were out there fixing it all up. But
took about what?
So now
2.5 weeks, right?
A rent.
2.5 weeks to get a good tenant in there.
Yeah.
Got so some applications. So tell everyone, what's the cash flow?
Yeah. So cash flow is 355 fixed cash flow. So rent in for 1,300 and mortgage is 815. So got some nice fixed cash flow going there. Got a house hack that's covering a good chunk of my mortgage. So next step is to pay down that HELOC, start saving up some money, get a little emergency fund for that Indy property, and then on to the next one.
I love it. What would you say to, whoever is watching this video is obviously watching because they're considering joining my coaching program. What would you say to that person? Maybe if they're like, should I join Casey's program? Is it worth the investment or not? What would you say to them?
Do it. Definitely do it. No complaints. To be honest, so how I found Casey is I had another coach in the past. they were like, how would I phrase it? They were like, oh, I got all these connections. I'll like connect you with the right people. They'll take care of you. Just let me know where you're looking, all this other stuff. Um, and obviously that worked out so well. That's why I'm in Casey's program now. So didn't work out at all. The connections that person had wasn't working. So I was skeptical to join Casey's little what do you call it, like program? I forget what it's called. It's like
Success with rental
SW.
Properties.
Thank you. I was like SWRP, something like
Yeah.
that. I know the abbreviation. There we go. So definitely join. No complaints. Definitely worth the money. She literally holds your hand through everything, and there's no such thing as a stupid question, because trust me, I asked a lot of stupid questions, and it is fine. It will be fine. She will hold you accountable. So if you have the cash raring to go, and you can float the bill of Casey's program, absolutely do it. 100%. I wouldn't, no, without a doubt in my mind. If you're interested, if you're truly ready for it, and you're ready for an out-of-state property where you've never seen the city, never been to the town, never been to the state, and you want some hand holding, right here,
You're
everybody.
awesome. Well, thank you,
Right
Jared.
here.
I appreciate it. I am so grateful you joined my program. It was an absolute joy to work with you in our meetings this year. And thank you so much for this wonderful testimonial that I will share to my YouTube channel for anyone who's interested in watching. And Jared, make sure that you keep me updated for any future properties and, keep in touch and all that.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Jared.